When I tell you guys that San Francisco offices are empty, I'm not talking about like a couple buildings in the city being kind of empty. No, we're talking about like the whole entire city having vacancies, probably up to like 2/3 or 60 to 70%. I get it. The official vacancies is like 31, 32% for the city, which is already pretty crazy high. I mean, when the vacancies, the official number is being like 1/3, this city is practically dead. This just shows you how many tech workers have left. But if you really look into the city, it's actually more than 33% empty because there's whole like entire skyscrapers that are completely empty despite still having a occupancy rates of like 30 to 40%. That's because these tech CEOs, they're still renting the office because their lease hasn't ended yet, but the workers didn't come back after the pandemic. Post pandemic, people stuck their heads into San Francisco and they're like, let's check out how the city is after 1 to 2 years of being away from the office. And all they see is just people doing crack on the streets, people shooting up drugs, tents everywhere, and probably the lowest tourism in San Francisco history. And now you even have guys like Slack, they're leaving, right? Massive company, and this whole entire building is practically dedicated to just one single tech corporation. These guys are leaving. Uber is cutting down their space. Lyft is cutting down their space. Salesforce has abandoned a whole entire skyscraper. And you get the idea. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And check this out, right? The Salesforce Tower, the tallest skyscraper in all of San Francisco, it's also right next to the Leaning Tower, which is the Millennium Condo Tower. So if you check out the Salesforce Tower, right, it's a massive skyscraper. And I'm surprised they built a skyscraper of this caliber in a place where there's like earthquakes. And by the way, the Google Street View, as we're seeing right now, is March 2023. So this is actually fairly recent. It's daytime, and look at how empty these streets are. Okay, we got like a person there, a person there. We got like a tent right there. I mean, tents are crucial to San Francisco. In fact, if you don't have a tent on each block, it feels kind of wrong. And look at how empty this is. It feels like the only thing open in this place is like the Starbucks. And this is literally the place in town where it's supposed to be shoulder to shoulder crowded. This is where CEOs, your tech bros, and where the most of the tourism is. And it's spring. This isn't even winter, guys. This is spring, and look at how freaking empty this is. And this is supposed to be the best part of town. It doesn't look like it. Now, if you check out this is going to be a Salesforce Tower, and this is actually a pretty interesting video that you guys have to watch. So somebody filmed the inside of the Salesforce Tower. This is supposed to be a game room. So you guys may be wondering, okay, what in the world does the game room or the arcade section of the Salesforce Tower has to do anything? Just shows you how there's no employees. This is actually a pretty popular destination for a lot of people in Salesforce. I mean, come on, like who doesn't like some games and arcades? And look at how empty this is, right? Some of us feel inside Salesforce Tower. It's completely empty. It's pretty bad. And I mean, a lot of CEOs are leaving. We're seeing heightened amounts of homelessness and crime. The hotel industry is collapsing. Park 55 Hilton hotels have pulled out of California, defaulting on $750 million of loans. What they said was they stopped paying it because the buildings they own is worth less than half price. So if the mortgage itself is worth 2 to 3 times more than the building they own, why do they keep paying for it, right? Just go bankrupt. So they handed the building over to the city. They don't even want the keys to the streets anymore because the streets look like this. And look at the poop map. Look at how dark this is. I mean, this is like the nastiest city I've ever seen. I mean, that is seriously a lot of poop. I mean, are those needles? I think these are needles. And then if you pretty much show me like a picture of this and didn't tell me it was San Francisco, I'll probably say it's some third world country, or at least it's war torn. Now, like I said before in some of our videos, a lot of you guys, some of you guys in the comment sections actually say that you live in a third world country and there's no poop and there's no drugs on the streets. I guess San Francisco is like a fourth world country at this point. And not to mention, you also have street camping. Check out this San Francisco video. This is insane. Okay, this is in San Francisco, and there's just people. There's people high, and it's mostly trash. And there's tents everywhere. And you would think that the city would do something about the situation because this is absurd. It's insane that this is even happening. And it's even insaner at a crazier and higher level when the city doesn't care when this happens. Go to any first world city. Go to Tokyo, Seoul, Shanghai, Singapore, Taipei, Sydney, Melbourne. You would never see something like this. Absolutely not. And this is an absolute embarrassment as well. The pandemic hit San Francisco's downtown particularly hard. International tourism has dried up. In fact, the Chinese tourists that go on vacations every summer number in the multi-millions. And San Francisco is actually like the only city that they avoid. In fact, there's actually a lot of Chinese tourists in places like New York, Miami, and also Los Angeles, because they actually have designated tourist areas where it doesn't have tents and homeless people and people doing drugs and open air markets, right? San Francisco's tourism is so bad, the Chinese tourists who went there went back, go on the blogging sites, go on like the Chinese version of YouTube, and they say some of the craziest things. They say they've never seen a third world country like in America. San Francisco is literally just cracked out at this point. Now, San Francisco really needs the money to help the homeless individuals and people who are mentally ill, but they're at a budget deficit because they don't care about the city or the business owners, which is causing businesses to move out. This is why vacancies are so high. And when these guys move out, San Francisco, they don't have anyone to tax. When you don't have anyone to tax, you're completely screwed. And you're never going to have enough money to help the people who are in need. So if you check out this, tech workers stayed home after seeing San Francisco being so degraded during the pandemic. Retailers are fleeing. You got the biggest mall in San Francisco. They have practically left, and it's just homeless people sleeping in front of the doors at this point. Tents popping up everywhere. San Francisco's city center is absolutely disgusting. There's just feces and poop everywhere. I mean, look at this, okay? Beautiful view of IKEA USA in downtown San Francisco. I mean, there's just tents being popped up everywhere at this point. I mean, this is commonplace. And this is crazy. Okay, I don't even have to say anything. I just show you the video and you could just judge by yourself. People straight up having like a twin size bed in the middle of the street, and the city just doesn't care. What you need to do is really help out these individuals. Shelters, right? Affordable housing. And also, more importantly, if you're not willing to save the businesses, well, screw you. These businesses are going to leave, and you're not going to get anyone to tax. San Francisco is absolutely crazy here. I mean, you have all sorts of crazy stuff happening in San Francisco. This is practically daily. This is every single day. You know, don't believe the post that tourism is flocking back. Tourism is not flocking back at all. In fact, if you just type in the word San Francisco on Twitter, you're going to be seeing more filthy things than anything that's like tourism or a cool thing related. Companies are leaving. Companies don't want to stay. I mean, look at this, okay? Look at these tourists walking in San Francisco, and they're going to have to go through a bunch of tents and people who are mentally ill, people who need help, open air drug markets. This is insane. I guarantee you these guys are never going back to San Francisco for a vacation. Look at this, right? This is supposed to be like a good apartment / condo building, but it looked like this, right? And by the way, if these guys get their luggage stolen, yeah, good luck. The cops are probably not going to care either. So many of the tourists are getting like their cars broken and stuff. I mean, look at this guy right here. He's probably thinking, yeah, I can't believe I came to this city for vacation. And you tell me why tourism is low, just watch this video. Okay, this isn't just in the street. This is everywhere. And guess what? I mean, this is actually a good part of town too. This is not a bad part of town, guys. This is actually a good part of town. And like I said before, scenes like these are rampant. It's everywhere. You know, tourism is so low in San Francisco. It's at a whole different level. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment below, and see you guys later.